Hi, my name is Bruce Elebee, and I'm a Journey 8 guide. I've always been in music. Music has always been a part of me. Through my years of not only being an artist, but also being a person that helped develop artists, I feel that my superpower has become helping creatives get through those blocks, those areas that help them not only become a great singer or a great performer, but also become a better version of themselves that will help them throughout life. Through years of being a musician and being a singer, I've had the pleasure of going out on the road, I've had the pleasure of being in the studios, but the one thing that I felt like I was lacking as I was coming up as a musician was development. The natural talent was there, but it was that development that would have taken me to that next level. And that's what I want to bring to the world. That's what I want to bring to artists. That's what I want to bring to creatives, knowing that it's about developing yourself. And when I say developing yourself, like I said, you can practice all day, but it's how you practice. You can sing, you can do all of those things, but it's all about how you show up at the end of the day. And I want to help you show up the best version of yourself. I'm from Freeport, Louisiana. Louisiana is all about jazz, different flavors of music. The way that I actually got into music, which is crazy, is that my father started taking organ lessons. And when he took organ lessons, he would come home every day. He bought an organ, had it set out, come home, practice every day. Just so happened that I had a really good ear for music. So whenever he would play, I would hear what he would play and I would go back in there and I could repeat it without a problem. So what did my dad do? He decided to stop taking organ lessons and start giving me organ lessons, which completely took the fun out of music for me. But that created that passion for me in knowing what type of creativity I had as a musician. It was something that just came natural because first it was about piano, first it was about the organ, then it became about singing. People found out I could sing, all that, so things started going in a different direction. I have two older brothers, both of them play drums. And the kind of music was listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, listening to the Gap Band, Freddie Jackson, Luther Vandross. And then, of course, growing up in the church, a lot of gospel music and being in the church choir. And believe it or not, I was an usher in the church choir, or usher in the church rather. And so music always played like a big part in my life. Music had a definition within my house, meaning that it defined good times and it defined bad times. So it's like, I believe that everybody has their own soundtrack that they go around, they have it playing in their head, whether it's loud or silent. Sometimes it's a little bit silent. It's also a time machine as well, because when you listen to something, I can hear stuff now and when I listen to it, I can hear my mom in the kitchen, or I hear like a sad song and I remember when this girl broke up with me, or just different things like that. So music, period, music down south, it was huge. And it continues to be a big part of my life. Music to me is a culture in itself. I mean, if you think about culture, you think about like Michael Jackson and everybody wearing the jackets, or Elvis Presley, people trying to dance, like different things like that, or even the Beatles as far as like how they actually recorded music. So my thing is helping people understand that their identity when it comes to music is, one, unique to themselves, but also understanding that there's a lot of different types of music that they can learn from and that they can be a part of, and that they're so powerful as musicians. When you're a musician, you write stories that helps people define their lives. And when I say help people define their lives, I mean, if you think about what you were listening to in the car, and then later that night you're humming that song or whatever, it takes you somewhere. It gives you that feeling of fullness. most people don't know this, but one song that really fills me up every single time is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I don't know what it is about the chord progression or whatever, but that song can basically, I can be in just running around doing whatever, and if I'm listening to this song, I feel this fullness in my chest, and you know, you may get a teardrop or something every now and then, but that's what it does to me. So I feel like that what I do to inspire others is help them define who they are. I've done a lot of artist development, and I think one of the biggest things with confidence, especially with the young musicians that are out right now, and there's a lot of comparison. I'm gonna compare myself to who's on Instagram, who has the most followers, all of this stuff. But one of the things is really helping them to be able to tell their own personal story. Because like if they can tell their own personal story, they can create that audience, they can create that tribe. Because it's not necessarily about trying to become, I mean, and don't get me wrong, yeah, there's a lot of people that want to sell out these arenas, but it's not necessarily about that. It's about being in love with the music. And it's getting them to understand that that confidence is always in them. It's always in them. I always say that, you know, that you're always going to be the star of the show, but you'll never shine if you don't take the stage. So you have to be willing to be bold. You have to be willing to go out there and leave it all out on the stage, and also be able to just say, not make it about you. Because a lot of times when it comes to musicians, they make it so much about them that if they hit a bad note, if someone distracts them in the audience, if all these things tend to rattle them, and then the next thing you know is that it then spirals into, oh, I had a bad show. The next show comes up, you start looking for the exact same thing. So, like I said, it's getting them to understand that they're already a star. I've had the pleasure to train a lot of even athletes, and athletes like Alshon Jeffrey, Reggie Bush, different people like that. And musicians are athletes, and it is one of those things where it does apply across the board. It's like you're taking care of yourself the exact same way. You're taking care of your body, you're taking care of your mind, you're taking care of your spirit, everything, because when it all comes together, then regardless of what happens on the stage, if you're confident in that and it's all together, you're gonna leave the stage knowing that, hey, I left it all out there and I did what I came to do. There's a lot of people that have inspired me, but to actually get me on the journey there, well, get me going down that road and onto the journey of where I've arrived today is, I mean, I can look at singers, but it wasn't the singers that inspired me. It was those people behind the scenes. It was the Russell Simmons. It was the Barry Gordy's. It was even the Puffies of, you know, back in the day or whatever, that inspired me not to just go out and, okay, I want to sing, I want to be on stage, all of that, all good. But what can I help create? What can I help create and allow others to express themselves? And I have to say, and I have to give like all of it to like my father, because if he hadn't have come home and made me play the organ, who knows if I would have taken on the music like I have. If I could leave any tidbits, any breadcrumbs for any artists that are out there, it would be 1, always stay humble. 2, learn your craft. And 3, know that you have everything already within you to be the person that you want to be and the artist that you want to be.